I'm Sal Ball and I am the Wilder Wellbeing Officer for Somerset Wildlife Trust. So I got involved with Somerset Wildlife Trust about three and a half years ago as a volunteer with the Nature Connections project that was running on the Blackdown Hills. And it was a beautiful project, and what I witnessed was it worked. We watched people who'd maybe been really struggling in their lives, really kind of battling with some difficulties, blossom and open and really kind of grow in that experience. So yeah, I guess I witnessed it working and really loved the idea that nature could be that kind of beautiful, simple answer for so many people. My first few months have been busy. It's a very big and kind of complex organisation, Somerset Wildlife Trust. That is what I'm learning. And I guess what I have learned from that in the last however many months it's been, few months, is just how much work this trust is doing on a quiet, day-to-day basis to work really hard for nature in Somerset, but also the people of Somerset, and bringing those two things together is pretty awesome. So I guess the Nature Connections project was part of the bridge that brought me to the wellbeing and nature aspect, because I've spent the last, gosh, this always makes me feel old, about 30 years of my life working in community mental health projects. Alongside that, I've had my own self-employed business training and consulting around mental health issues for a similar length of time. And it feels to me that all of that experience about wanting to help and support people in a way that meets them where they are, that's not imposed, that's not kind of telling you this is how it's going to be for you, this is what makes you better, but this is tell me what's going to work for you and we'll see if we can kind of facilitate that together, coupled with the bridging experience of the Nature Connections group, was just a wow, we can do this, but we can do this outdoors. And I've always loved the outdoors. I've always been one of those people who walks, rides, runs, camps, all of those kind of things. But I think for me, it's just been about a wonderful opportunity to bring all of that indoor experience, to the outdoor, and slow things down and see what we can do together in nature for people, and but also then for the long term nature recovery. One of the largest opportunities for this role is a fundamental promise of being able to maybe see human beings and nature as not separate and different from each other. So yeah, fundamentally, I think for this project, there is something about re-establishing the animal within ourselves and seeing ourselves as one and part of nature in order to sort of be involved with its recovery on a more pragmatic level, on a more kind of, what are we going to be doing? What are the opportunities and the aspirations? It's going to be about hoping to facilitate groups, communities, teams, anybody across Somerset who's got an interest to embed nature-based wellbeing and nature connection into the day-to-day work that they do, so that this approach, this hugely beneficial kind of way of working with our well-being, is going to be available for everybody across Somerset. The communities that we've worked with so far and the people that I've met so far, I think one of the things that's really struck me is that everybody's interested. Everybody wants to talk more. And so I've only been in post for a few months. We are already doing work with recovery memory cafes. So sort of working with people, working with around nature connections with people who have got memory issues or dementia, that sort of thing. Been doing some work with an organisation that supports young adults with learning disabilities and autism diagnoses who are thinking about going back into work, doing some work with the NHS, and just finished a lovely project working across all of Somerset's libraries, doing nature connection facilitator training to library staff so that they feel confident when members of the public come into libraries and want to talk with them about nature. So it's amazing. We've been welcomed with open arms. We're talking to the NHS. We're talking to all sorts of groups. You name it, we're talking. Okay, so I think what's really fab for me as a new person is coming into a new role. So there are no how it's been done before. There's no kind of, these are the rules, this is what's expected. So I'm kind of being able to be quite creative in approaches. So I think the first part is to just establish the project, work out what it is we mean, what words we're using, the language we're using to describe what we're doing, so that everybody is clear we're talking about the same thing in the same way, so there's a consistency of approach. Alongside that, I think because the Trust has got so much background experience and knowledge in this area, I'm not actually having to make new relationships, I'm building on existing relationships. The communities are out there, and there is a good relationship that I can lean into, that the Trust and other engagement staff and other people in the Trust have built over years. And so that's really lovely. So building on those relationships feels really important, alongside building good practice. I mean, as a learning project, we've got a really exciting opportunity here to learn, and that means we will make mistakes, and we'll learn by mistakes as well as learning by what works well. So kind of feeling there's quite a dynamic opportunity to build good practice and then share that good practice more widely. And I guess the ultimate aim of that, once we've got those kind of things in place and embedded, is to feel confident that we're in a solid enough position to start really reaching out to communities that are currently excluded from access to nature, people who don't feel comfortable or welcomed in nature, maybe people who don't have the privilege that I have to live in the middle of the countryside where I live. So yeah, we want to kind of get our ducks in a row, if you like, in order to feel that we can start having conversations and meeting the needs, facilitating the situations of people who live in Somerset but don't have access to this. Somerset is a huge and diverse community, isn't it? So I think a recognition that there is a huge diversity of need out there that would be kind of really important to meet. But alongside that, I think there is something really fundamental about making sure that, as well as having breadth of contact with people, that we can have some depth of contact with people as well. So we are building, I suppose I've just had a tree analogy, there's something about kind of really strong roots, wanting really strong roots, so everything that we offer to a community feels like it can grow and flourish. It's about having at the heart of the project and knowing that this is a challenge for Somerset, that there's equity and fairness for people that we might come across, so that it's a project that has equality at its heart and is available and accessible in an equal way for everybody.